The Prince, detailed analysis. Introduction to The Prince. The Prince is perhaps Niccolò Machiavelli's most renowned and influential work. Written in 1513, during a period of political exile, it was not published until 1532, 5 years after Machiavelli's death. The book is a treatise on political power, addressed to Lorenzo de Medici, a member of the ruling family of Florence. The Prince is characterized by its departure from the traditional moral and ethical considerations that had previously dominated political thought. Instead, Machiavelli provides a practical guide on rulership, grounded in realism and the often harsh realities of political life. Key themes and ideas. 1. The nature of power and leadership. Machiavelli's central thesis is that the successful exercise of power often necessitates actions that are not bound by traditional ethical norms. He argues that a ruler, or prince, must be prepared to act immorally when required to maintain stability and control. This pragmatic approach is encapsulated in the idea that the ends justify the means. 2. Virtù and fortuna. Machiavelli introduces the concepts of virtù and fortuna. Virtù refers to the qualities, skills, and ingenuity a ruler must possess to shape his destiny. It encompasses attributes like decisiveness, cunning, and strength. Fortuna, on the other hand, represents luck or fortune, the unpredictable elements that can affect human affairs. A successful prince must skillfully balance virtù to control and mitigate the effects of fortuna. 3. The role of fear and love. One of the most famous and debated assertions in The Prince is Machiavelli's preference for a ruler to be feared rather than loved if he cannot be both. He argues that fear is a more reliable means to maintain control because it does not waver like love, which can be fickle and conditional. However, he cautions against being so feared that it provokes hatred, which could lead to rebellion. 4. The importance of military prowess. Machiavelli emphasizes the necessity of a strong military. He believes that a ruler's primary focus should be on war and its strategies, as the security and expansion of the state depend on military strength. He advises princes to avoid relying on mercenaries or auxiliary troops, advocating instead for a loyal and well-trained national army. 5. Political deception and manipulation. Machiavelli acknowledges the role of deception in politics. He advises rulers to be cunning like a fox to recognize traps and strong like a lion to scare away wolves. A successful prince must be able to lie and manipulate when necessary, presenting a facade of virtue while being willing to act immorally behind the scenes. The evolution to The Prince. Machiavelli's ideas in The Prince were shaped by his extensive experience in diplomacy and observation of various political regimes. His diplomatic missions exposed him to the political machinations of different states and leaders, such as Cesare Borgia, whose ruthless tactics and strategic acumen left a significant impression on Machiavelli. The political instability of Italy, with its warring city-states and foreign invasions, further influenced Machiavelli's thinking. He saw the need for strong, pragmatic leadership to unify and stabilize the region. The Medici's return to power and Machiavelli's subsequent fall from grace prompted him to distill his observations and experiences into a concise guide for rulers. Application of Machiavellian principles in the modern world. Politics. Machiavellian principles can be observed in modern political strategies where leaders prioritize national interest and pragmatic considerations over idealism. Realpolitik, a term often associated with figures like Otto von Bismarck and Henry Kissinger, reflects Machiavellian tactics where diplomatic actions are guided by practical and strategic interests rather than ethical norms. Business. In the corporate world, Machiavellian tactics are visible in competitive strategies. CEOs and business leaders often make difficult decisions to ensure their company's survival and success, such as downsizing, mergers, or strategic pivots. The focus on results, efficiency, and adaptability mirrors Machiavelli's advice to rulers. International relations. Machiavelli's influence is evident in the realm of international relations where states act to maximize their power and security. Strategies that involve alliance formation, economic sanctions, and military interventions are guided by a pragmatic assessment of national interests. Modern disciples of Machiavelli. Henry Kissinger. Kissinger, a former U.S. Secretary of State, is often associated with realpolitik. His diplomatic strategies during the Cold War, particularly the opening of relations with China and the handling of the Vietnam War, reflect a Machiavellian approach to international politics. Lee Kuan Yew. The founding Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, applied pragmatic and sometimes authoritarian measures to transform Singapore into a prosperous nation. His leadership style, focused on results and stability, aligns with Machiavellian principles. Corporate leaders. Figures like Steve Jobs, known for his relentless pursuit of innovation and success at Apple, embody Machiavellian attributes in the business realm. His strategic vision, ability to make tough decisions, and focus on results over sentiment reflect the pragmatic approach advocated by Machiavelli. Conclusion. The Prince remains a seminal work in political philosophy, offering insights that continue to resonate in modern contexts. Machiavelli's realistic and often controversial perspectives on power, leadership, and human nature provide a valuable framework for understanding and navigating the complexities of political and organizational life. His influence extends across various fields, from politics and business to international relations, highlighting the enduring relevance of his ideas.